Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is October the 27th, and I think there's like 12 games in the NBA for today. We're not going over all 12 on this show, but we'll go through about 7 or 8 of them. We'll go through 5 or 6 of them, put it like that. Tons of games to go through. We're going to jump right into it. Before we go right, we always look left, right? So yesterday, didn't end up making any official plays. Sundays are spooky in the NBA, but man, had I wish I did. If you caught the show yesterday, I think everything we talked about was a winner outside of San Antonio falling, 2 points, I think, but below their team total. Everything else was a winner, though. We did a pretty good job of handicapping the card yesterday. So hopefully you guys made some money. We're going to jump into it for today, man. We're going to jump right into it for today. All right, so first up, we will go with jaXon, your AI sports betting tool. jaXon split yesterday. John Collins over his points, rebounds, and assists was a winner. And then the loser was Cade over his 5.5 boards. He finished with just 3. So losing bet on Cade, winning bet on John Collins yesterday. Let's jump into it for today and see what jaXon likes. So I asked jaXon for the 2 best player props for today again. So I'll give you guys one of these, and I'll give you guys a total bet as well. So first one we'll go with is the the total bet. The player prop bet. And jaXon likes Stephon Castle over his 21.5 points plus assists. I actually think this is pretty intriguing as well. It says he's been on absolute tear recently, consistently exceeding this line. His performance over his last 20 games shows remarkable consistency, hitting the over in 85% of those contests. In his recent matchups, he's hit the over 21.5 and 80% of his last 5 games going back to last season. An impressive 90% of his last 10 games. His mean points plus assists over the last 10 games sits at about 25.5, which is 4 points above today's line. Even looking at the full season, Castle's averaging 22 points plus assists, slightly above the 21.5 line, demonstrating that he is demonstrating that his production level is sustainable. I don't think Fox will be back. It also talks about that, San Antonio potentially being shorthanded tonight against the Raptors without De'Aaron Fox and Jeremy Sohan. However, if you've been watching the games, Mr. Harper has absolutely come to ball. I saw yesterday he made some kind of history. I think be one of the only players that scored 20 points, had 5 assists and no turnovers in the same game, or it was something else might have been included in that, but he's been hooping. So Stephon Castle was the first look on the second leg of the back-to-back. The next one I asked jaXon for was a total bet. jaXon likes the 76ers and the Orlando Magic under the total of 226.5. It says the primary driver of this under is the severely limited offensive output expected from the 76ers offense. This team is currently operating without its full arsenal, which drastically lowers their ceiling for total points scored in the contest. So you got Embiid minute restriction, Joel Embiid playing on a minute restriction. He's already been rolled out though. And then you got some key absences. So Paul George continues to be out. George is a crucial secondary scorer and playmaker. Removing both limited Embiid and absent George forces the 76ers to rely heavily on Tyrese Maxey and rookie VJ Edgecombe, who, despite impressive performances, cannot fully compensate for their lost production. So the 76ers offensive reality while the 76ers have managed 2 comeback wins, they're doing so with a slightly reduced offensive engine. Their pace is likely to slow down as they rely on half-court sets and try to manage the game flow without their primary stars. Magic's defensive potential. The Orlando Magic are a young team, but they possess the length and athleticism to challenge the short-handed 76er squad with Embiid limited. The Magic can focus their defensive efforts on Maxey and force the secondary players to beat them. Historical context. 76ers recent games, even wins, have been grinded out affairs, with the team prioritizing Embiid's long-term health over early season scoring explosions. The coaching staff will likely maintain a conservative approach to the game flow, favoring defense and control possession. So a couple of reasons to like the under 226 there. Let me know if you guys what you guys are thinking about those. I appreciate everybody in the chat as well. I'm seeing y'all. What's up, Queez? Appreciate you for tapping in. He says Lakers been paying me 2 games in a row. Good morning, Tasha. What's up, Andre? He says appreciate the picks yesterday. Winner. What's up, Prolific? Says that Spurs team total was a dud. Some controversy with that game. Yeah, it was. I mean, they did end up. I think they ended up covering because they were laying 10.5. But yeah, I mean, you had like 80 at halftime. How you not get to 100 19. It is what it is, though. What up, Free Sauce? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Vaughn says, great day in sports betting yesterday. Took Reeves ladder, Saquon, Jay Cook, and Javonte Williams 2 touchdowns. That Trailblazers was money too. Yeah, we talked about the Blazers. Shout out to Kawhi for throwing the ball out of bounds at the end. I don't know if people stayed up and watched that last night. I did. Helping Hand says, literally a good day yesterday. I don't care. Them picks were fire. Yeah, we cashed yesterday. What up, Jay Sunshine? Appreciate you for tapping in. What up, Tariq? Appreciate you for tapping in. Andrew says, I cashed on all your picks. I did not do the points bet. I can't touch the Magic right now, Jay Sunshine says. Freevon says, only thing in is Magic 0 might turn up tonight. They may be in a slump. That was a good Spurs game. Net came out to play. Yeah, Nets, they came out to play in the second. I think it was the third quarter specifically. I think they outscored the Spurs by 16 in the third and then ended up losing the fourth. All right. So anyway, let's jump into it for today. So first game we got up is the Cavs and the Pistons. I'm going to go through these pretty rapid fire. So we'll start with the injury report, of course. Just get an update real quick. Make sure I got it right. I wrote down last night that there will be Darius Garland, Max Strus are, of course, out. On the Detroit side of things, Marcus Sasser could play today. Karis LeVert could potentially play today as well, but Jaden Ivey will continue to be out. Both of these teams, of course, played last night, so it is the second leg of a back-to-back for both teams. Cleveland got the job done. It was hard. They did not cover that spread, like we said. The Bucks ended up covering the number last night. Had a chance to make it even closer at the end. AJ Green had a crazy three-pointer from that left wing. But as far as this game goes, both teams on the second leg of a back-to-back. Detroit being at home, we talked about Detroit yesterday too, minus the 3.5. They dominated Boston on the boards. And I think that Detroit is still like super hungry, man. It does scare me a little bit because the line is a little short. You literally just, really need Cleveland to win the game. But Cleveland hasn't necessarily looked great, man. I don't really think Cleveland is bet on from an ATS perspective to start the season. I would go with Detroit in this game, plus 2.5. I know it's a super short number, but the Cavs are 0-3 ATS so far this season. I kind of like what I'm seeing from the Pistons, man. I think at home they'll keep that same energy. Jalen Duren had a monster game last night. You need him to be able to slow down, Jared Allen, stay out of foul trouble too. Tobias Harris may be potentially barbecue chicken against Evan Mobley, but and we'll see if DeAndre Hunter plays on the second leg with back-to-back. Probably so, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Sir Thompson. Cade Cunningham looks good. Ron Holland looks amazing off that bench as well. So I like Detroit, man. I think that they can cover the number. One thing I did look at yesterday was short unrested road favorites. And when I say short, I mean laying 3 points or less. Unrested road favorites coming off a win since COVID. They're just 17-34-1 against the spread. So they're only covering 1 in every 3 games, 33%. That says to fave Cleveland here. Detroit did cover both games last season when they were playing at home against this Cavs team as well. So I lean Detroit. I'm not sure if I'll get there, but I do lean Detroit. I think that they can have some success in this game. Don't really want to bet on Cleveland on the road, especially being on the second leg of a back-to-back without Strus and Garland. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Yeah, run the likes up too, man, if y'all can. Helps out the show, helps out the algorithm. Hit that like button for me. Let's see. Yeah, they were locking up in the first quarter, Jay Sunshine. I did see they got out to a nice lead. I think it was like 11-2 or 11-4, and the Spurs still scored 30 points in the first quarter. I was like, how? So yeah. Let's see. Bless what it says. You with the Scully on, all I can do is think of the movie Dead Presidents. I only got the Scully on because I done been outside already today, and it's a little chilly outside, and it's also chilly in my basement. So when I come back in the house, I typically just leave it on. So I've been outside already this morning. What up to my guy side? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. What up, Doms? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game up we got is the Brooklyn Nets and the San Antonio Spurs. No, this game is not supposed to be here. Magic in the 76ers. I don't know how I left that in there. Magic in the 76ers was the next one that I wanted to go through. Yeah, Magic in the 76ers. Let's go through Magic in the 76ers. I actually kind of like this one, man. All right, so Embiid is listed as out. There's no Paul George. There's no Jerry McCain. There's no Trent Watford. All those guys have already been out, right? And Dominique Barlow is also listed as out. So you just add Dominique Barlow and Joel Embiid to the injury report. They'll start Bona off the bench. Obama off the bench. And you still got Tyrese Maxey, BJ Edgecombe, Kelly Oubre, and this team is undefeated. I mean, they played just 2 games, but they beat Charlotte, they beat Boston to start the season as well. Nice come from behind win against Boston. I mean, against Charlotte the other day, even though Charlotte did cover that spread. In Orlando, at full strength outside of Mo Wagner not being there. So Orlando has struggled. They only 1-2 straight up, 0-3 against the number so far this season. Have not covered any of these games. Of course, they lost outright on the second leg of that back-to-back against Chicago on Friday night at home. Or on Saturday night at home, I'm sorry. And then Philly, 2-0 straight up, and 0-1 against the number. This is the first leg of a back-to-back for Philly. They play tomorrow in DC. First thing that jumps out to me at this game is that the line is moving in favor of Philly. And that doesn't always indicate that Philly is in favor of Orlando. It doesn't always indicate that that's the right side. But I do see this up to 5. Orlando eventually going to get it right, man. I don't necessarily like fading, good teams in desperation spots. I'm not sure, and I'm not saying that this is a desperation spot, but I know Orlando will be super locked in for this game. They've like struggled with some fundamentals. I think it feels to me like they're just struggling to do the small things right. Make your free throws. Don't turn the ball over. And I was listening to the post-game interview, Paolo Banchero and Jalen Suggs and even Coach Jamal Mosley talk about how they are going to play a little bit faster. So they do expect the turnovers to go up a little bit, but they still got to do a better job protecting the basketball. So if they can stop turning the ball over, because Chicago got a lot of points off second chance off points off turnovers in that last game. They can stop doing that. If they can make their free throws, I do think that they're better than Philly. I mean, I don't think that they're better. I know that they're better than Philly. Can they win this game by 4.5, 5 points? I think so, man. I kind of want to bet Orlando. It has moved from 3.5 up to 4.5. I see some 5s out there. Last night it was 3.5, and I thought to myself, kind of like this spot for Orlando. Philly has looked good though. They have looked really, really good. Philly also got a depleted Boston team that hasn't won the game yet, and a Charlotte team, which they potentially should have lost that game to Charlotte. So I like Orlando. If I'm betting this game, I'm laying the 3 with Orlando. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. From a player prop perspective, let's go over to Outlier really quickly. There was one that kind of jumped off the page to me. So I do want to share it with you guys as well. Let's see if we even have it real quick. Let's see if it's on. Hopefully it's something that we can bet. I didn't even look, but I wrote it in my notes yesterday when I was thinking about the game. Let's see if it's even available to us. Nope, it's not. I think if we can get a line, it's not available yet, clearly, but if we can get a line for Drummond rebounds, I think that's something to look at. No, Orlando's a pretty good rebounding team, but Drummond has absolutely been killing on the glass. So I was actually about to look at Bonner under his rebounds, but it looks like the line, Bonner doesn't have any lines out right now. So, and my reason for that is I just think Drummond will play. I like Drummond over his boys if he actually gets into the game. If the lines do go up, but we'll see. We'll see if the line goes up. But Drummond played. He played 16 minutes in that game on Saturday against Charlotte, and had 13 rebounds in 16 minutes. Drummond's been. One thing this dude can do is still rebound the basketball. So I like Drummond over his boards if he does play. I think the Orlando Magic will come in and put an emphasis on being able to try to slow down Tyrese Maxey. I'm not sure if they can slow down Maxey. Desmond Bane hurts the defense, in my opinion. But I do anticipate them to be able to win this game. I think that they can win. I think that they can cover. I see what you guys are thinking. We'll move over to the next. Ozzy's World says Cade over his boards plus assists. What up, Meech? JFX says, give me 76's Magic have been very mediocre to start the season. That's a fact. Dom says, like the Magic minus 4.5 or 60 team total under 111.5. I could see both of those. The Magic started the season off playing really poor defense against Miami, but Miami's offenses look amazing. Who saw that coming? And then Orlando hasn't been able to win because they haven't been able to score. And I think that they can slow down this Philly team, especially being able to kind of lock in, not have to, play against Embiid. So I know a lot of people not going to like the Magic. I get it, but that's the way that I'm betting if I'm betting this game. Magic minus the 4.5. I agree with you, Doms. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, I think. Maybe it wasn't. Magic shot, I think it was 12% from the 3-point line in the last game. So they're still struggling to score the basketball from the outside too. I forgot to mention that. TC Best has hit the like and show Chris some love. Hey, Chris, I don't want to jinx anything, but Aiden holding it down for the Lakers. You just jinxed it. There you go right there, man. There you go. I did watch Austin Reeves absolutely do whatever he wanted last night against Sacramento. Boy, that defense is bad. Opponent team total over almost every game. Austin Reeves out there looking like a black Michael Jordan last night, man. DeAndre Ayton finished with, what, 22 and 15? I mean, Sabonis is a double-double machine, but he ain't guard nobody either. So yeah, shout out to my Lakers. I don't really like the Lakers tonight. I think Portland can beat us tonight, but we'll see. We shall see. Brian says, "How about them Lakers?" AR and I took them. What a night! Go Dodgers! Dodgers, boy, that grand slam. I saw that live last night get hit. That's terrible. Magic Nuggets, Portland Thunder. Plug ball says new name in the chat. Best of luck on those. I do agree with kind of agree with most of those. Prolific says, thoughts on the Nets Rockets game. That game's jumping off the page to me. What specifically, Prolific? Let me know. I didn't even look too deeply into that game, honestly. What's up, Brian? Says Pels -2.5, Nuggets -5.5 today. Yeah, them lines are moving. Both, well, the second one is moving. All right, let's keep moving. Next one up is that Celtics and Pelicans game. So we start with the injury report. The Celtics can, of course, add people. They were off yesterday. Right now, only Jason Tatum is listed as out. And then on the Pelican side of things, Misi is listed as questionable after missing the game on Friday. Who did they play against? They played against the San Antonio Spurs. No Kevon Looney, of course. No DeJounte Murray either. So I'm thinking about this game yesterday, right? And I'd already looked ahead to see, Boston playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. But I'm not laying points with the Pelicans. That's what it really comes down to for me. Like I know Boston's on the second leg of a back-to-back. I know that both teams haven't won a game. I think I saw something yesterday. Underdog tweeted that the Boston Celtics have lost three. This is the first time they've lost 3 straight games since 2012 or something like that. Like, bro, I can't. This kind of feels like to me. It kind of feels like the Wizards yesterday, the Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, remember on Saturday night, the Hornets were in Philly. They lost that game. And then the Wizards were laying points. Now, Boston lost yesterday, but I mean, let's put Boston losses in perspective. They lost the first game to Philly, and that's kind of questionable. But then their second game, who did Boston lose to? To the Knicks. They're not supposed to beat the Knicks. I know they had playoff revenge, but they're not supposed to beat the Knicks. In my opinion, they're not going to be good at Detroit this season either. So I like Detroit yesterday. I'm not laying points with the Pelicans, man. It's Celtics minus the point plus the points in this game in my opinion. I know that the Pelicans have the rest advantage, but here's the thing, and I said this yesterday. Boston is not doing a great job of rebounding the basketball. They really, really struggle to rebound the basketball. The Pistons were like a +17, +18 on the boards yesterday. This Pelicans team is not a great rebounding team. Now, in my opinion, the Pelicans are not great rebounding the basketball. The Pelicans are also a significantly worse defensive team. So I think the Celtics will be able to get busy from the 3-point line. Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown had 40 yesterday. I'm pretty sure he can do that again today against this Pelicans defense. The Pelicans are going to eventually get a win, and maybe if they were getting points in this spot, it'd be a little bit better. But I'm like, bro, hold on, we really about to take points, about to lay points with the Pelicans? I don't care if they're playing on Jupiter. I'm not laying points with the Pelicans against the Celtics, man. So Pelicans, I think the Celtics will still be, just as hungry and motivated as they were yesterday. It'd be Celtics, maybe even first half, because they could potentially run out of gas. But I'm not betting on the Pelicans. It'd be Celtics plus the points in this game, first half or full game. I haven't bet it yet. That's the way I see the game. Let's see. I want nothing to do with the Pelicans laying points. Nothing to do with the Pelicans laying points at all. Real quick. And actually, this ain't gonna help none. I want to see what the Pelicans were last season when they were laying points at home. It don't matter, honestly, because they were so hurt yesterday. But when they were a favorite last year, they were 12-7 straight up, 9-10 against the number. Man, ain't no way I'm not laying points with the Pelicans. I know it's a super short number. I'll be taking the points here. Let's see. One more thing real quick. How many times have the Celtics have beat the Pelicans? 8 straight games. 8 straight times. Pelicans did cover last season, both games, but they were getting 12 and 14 in those games. Yeah. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. Johnny says Boston traveling from Detroit to New Orleans on the back-to-back seems like trouble. I don't think so. Mark says, I'm on Boston plus 2.5. I'm going to be right there with you, Mark. At least in the first half, something. When I see Jordan Poole on the other side, man, I know how bad the Pelicans defense is in general. I'm not laying no points with the Pelicans, man. Yeah, ain't no way possible. Real quick, let me go to my numbers real quick. Let's go. Let's see what the Pelicans defensive rating is so far. Not that it even matters, but I know how to beat the Celtics. I know how to beat the Celtics, and you got to be a good rebounding team. The Pelicans, in my opinion, are not. They're giving up the 5th most offensive rebounds. They're allowing teams to shoot the 6th most free throws. The defensive rating is 18th. I want Boston. That's the only way I'm looking. Fremont says maybe an over. I can see over. Total is a little high, but I can see over. Who's stopping Zion? I'm not even sure, Plug. I do agree with that. I think Zion could absolutely eat in this game because one thing the Celtics have proved so far, they don't really got a lot of rim protection, man. When you take Porzingis out, when you take Al Horford out, when you take Jason Tatum out, the rim is – that's why Jalen Duren had such a good game yesterday. So I'm not disagreeing with that part. I just think Boston can do enough to be able to get their first win of the season. They will come into this game super hungry, in my opinion. This is my thought process. Bryce says Pels money line. Travel for Boston and Pels haven't played since Friday. Give me a fresh skinny side on a big night. So we're on different sides here. Shane Pels were a first half covering team. Yeah, I'm on Boston plus the points and nothing at all. All right, next one up. I want to go through is the Suns and the Jazz. I only picked out a couple of these games because the injury reports for some of them are so significant. But let's talk about the Suns and the Jazz. So first we got to start with the injury report. This line opened with the Suns laying 2.5 points, I think. Laying 2, and now it's come down. And this is what I thought should happen yesterday. So we look at the injury report. Dylan Brooks is listed as questionable. Still no Jalen Green. He's been ruled out. And on the Utah side of things, Isaiah Collier is listed as out. Gorgeous Niang is listed as out. But the most important thing for the Utah Jazz so far, that they're not tanking yet. The Jazz will start to tank at some point in the season, but it's probably not going to be 3 games in, man. I know it's a super short spread. We see what happened when teams come into Utah. Remember, they beat the Jazz. They beat the Clippers outright in game number 1. They went to Sacramento. Probably should have won that game. Ended up losing by 1. They've covered both spreads so far. Phoenix, of course, they had yesterday off, but they also are playing 3rd game in 4 nights, coming out of altitude, still in altitude, because now you go from Denver for 1 night off to Utah. Man, I really want to take the Jazz in this spot. I really want to take Utah in this spot. I would like to be getting a few more points, but then again, I mean, you can't be laying but so many points if you're the Phoenix Suns on the road, especially if Dylan Brooks doesn't play. I kind of want to be on the Jazz in this spot, man, especially being at the crib. Only way I'm looking is towards the Jazz in this game. Let's check real quick. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's see. Utah is 4th in offensive rating, 5th in effective field goal percentage. They do struggle to turn the ball over. They have a 25th in turnover rate. That's not good. 5th in offensive rebound rate, though, and they're not fouling. They're not shooting a lot of free throws. Phoenix is 29th in defensive rating, the 2nd worst defensive rated team, 28th in opponent effective field goal percentage, and they're fouling at the 3rd highest rate in the NBA. I kind of want to take the Utah Jazz, man. It'll be Devin Booker out there with God knows who. I want the Jazz. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Nothing. Fremont just say Jazz and over. Eugene also says Jazz. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. LJ, what up, bro? He says, pay attention to shooting guard versus the Suns. They can't guard that position. Keontae George points plus assists. Okay. Keontae has been hooping too, man. I like Keontae George a lot. He looks really, really good this season so far. I didn't watch too much of that game against the Sacramento Kings the other night. Just a little bit, but what I did watch, he was hooping in the Clippers game that I watched on the first game of the season. He looked really, really good in as well. So I'll monitor this, see what happens with Dylan Brooks. If Dylan Brooks doesn't play, I think I gotta take the Jazz. At least for a little sprinkle, man. At the crib, home dog, yeah, that would be the way that I'm looking in that game. I feel like the line is pretty telling as well. But that's my thought process on that game, real quick. All right, let's shoot through a couple more games real quick. I know I didn't go through all of the games for today, but that's because the injury report for some of these games is so daunting. And some of them I just don't have the greatest feel on. I'm not going to waste your time if I don't have a great feel on the game. So Cleveland, Atlanta, we did. Atlanta and Chicago. First one that I'm absolutely not paying attention to. Atlanta opened as 1 point favorites. They're up to 1.5 point favorites. Total open 238.5, and the total is up to 241.5, 242 on a couple books. We know whenever these two teams play, we typically get one of the higher totals in the NBA because neither one of them plays a lot of defense. Now, the problem is the injury report. That's why I skipped the game. Zachary Reese-Shea, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, none of them played on Saturday when they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're all listed as questionable in this game. So that's an easy skip for me. Josh Giddey is also listed as questionable on the other side. So it's a clear, like, Kobe White's still out. It's a clear, like, skip for me. But with the total going up 3 points, I guess the books are anticipating that, we're going to see fireworks in this game and that everybody is going to play. So that's just my thought process on the game. I'm probably not going to bet it. Probably won't go near that game, but just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on why I didn't really jump into it handicapping wise. The Brooklyn Nets and the Houston Rockets. So you got Brooklyn on the second leg of a back-to-back. They can, of course, add people to the injury report. Zion Williams is listed as questionable. Hayward Highsmith could potentially miss another game for the Brooklyn Nets. This would be game number 4. And then on the opposite side, the Houston Rockets, of course, have Dorian Finney-Smith out and Fred VanVleet out. I heard the report from Kevin Durant that this team is pissed off. The coaches, the players, 15.5 is a lot of points to lay. I think they absolutely suffocate this Brooklyn Nets team. I want to go first half here. If I had to place any bet, I think Brooklyn comes out. I think Boston comes out. Let's try this again. I think Houston comes out and are absolutely mollywhopping this Brooklyn Nets team early. Brooklyn is just so terrible defensively. You can just get rid of whatever it is that you want. And if you can somehow slow down Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., I mean, the rest of the team is really cooked. So I see 8.5 right now. It is juice minus 120 on ESPN bet, but that's the way that I would want to play this game. I think Houston comes out with a fire lit underneath them. I mean, they're by far the better team anyway, and they haven't won a game yet. Remember, they lost to Detroit on Friday night, so they have the rest advantage. Of course, Brooklyn played last night. I want to take the Houston Rockets thinking that they could have a double-digit lead at halftime. So Houston first half minus the 9 is the way that I would play this game. Going back to the last one, Vario says, Jazz money line. I like the way the young guys look. Keontae George, 6.5 assists. He had 9 and 10 first 2 games, got in at minus 120. Good luck, Vario. I like that as well. Sounds like LJ likes it. Also makes a lot of sense for what he was saying. So, all right. So that's the Houston-Brooklyn game. Brooklyn can, I don't really like laying this big of a number, but this wouldn't surprise me if Houston won this game by 20, 25 points. I think that they will be extremely motivated coming off back-to-back losses to start the season and with the rest advantage in this spot. All right, so let's go to the next one, which is Toronto, San Antonio. That line is moving. Lou Kornet could return tonight. Kelly Olynyk is also listed as questionable. No Sohan, no De'Aaron Fox. Like, it's a Raptors team that yesterday. Well, when I took the Raptors on Friday, and I thought that they were in a pretty good spot. Again, at home against the Bucks. And what I'm learning quickly about the Raptors is, I guess with quickly in there specifically, they don't really want to play a lot of defense. So the Raptors have played 3 games so far, and everybody talked about, like Dallas needing a point guard. Not when you're playing against the Raptors. 139 points last night is what Dallas scored. Dallas offense had absolutely looked atrocious before this game, and they go out and drop pretty much 140 last night. This Raptors team gave up 122 against the Bucks. They gave up 118 to Atlanta. Now, granted, their offense played well in that game and scored 138, but defensively, they've looked terrible. This is not the defense that the coach wants to see them play. And now, in the second leg of a back-to-back, I will be looking towards San Antonio again. San Antonio, both of the teams played last night, but San Antonio on the second leg. But San Antonio didn't have to travel at all. And I just kind of like what I'm seeing. It's like by committee with San Antonio. They got a bunch of guys that can go out there, score the basketball. I think that they're going to be a really good defensive team, and we've seen that so far this season as well. Yesterday, they had 6 players in double figures. All 6 had 13 points or more. And that was with Harrison Barnes going 0 for 5 from the three-point line and only having 4 points. Love what I'm seeing from Dylan Harper off the bench. Stephon Castle's absolute leader of this team. Him and Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama went absolutely crazy yesterday, 31 and 14. So I think the spread is going in the right direction. Toronto's going to be we'll see how competitive they can be. I don't really know what to do with this game, which is why I didn't touch it. That's why I didn't touch this one. Let's see what you guys are saying. Lingowick says, I was thinking Brooklyn team total under. I don't think that's a bad look, Lingowick. The problem with that team total is it's so low. Brooklyn defense is pretty good, but I'm sorry, Houston defense is really good, but 104.5, like 103 points is super low, man. 103 points is so low, but I get where you're coming from. It makes a ton of sense in my opinion. Brooklyn team total under. Dougie Bone saying the same thing. Hawks Bulls under. Look at their total so far this season. Books thinking this still last year. What up, dude? Says bless up, Chris. The NBA was wild last night. Yeah, it's always banana, especially on a Sunday. All right, what game didn't I go through yet? OKC. OKC Dallas. I kind of want to take Dallas, man. I know that defense that they played last night against Toronto is bad, but again, I just don't really want to lay too many points with OKC on the road. I know they did just beat Atlanta, but they beat Atlanta B team in my opinion. Atlanta only had 2 starters in that game, I think. I like the size for Dallas in this spot. I know Cooper Flagg's going to absolutely, be tested. I know Dallas is playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. But Chet is listed as questionable. We'll see if he plays. Caruso is still out. Isaiah Joe's still out. Topic is still out. Jalen Williams and Kendrick Williams are both still out as well. I kind of want to take Dallas plus the points, but I need to do a little bit more work on that game. So I'm not going to give you guys I don't feel confident in that play. And then on the Denver and Minnesota game, Anthony Edwards left the game in the first quarter or second quarter, I think it was last night. In the Denver and Minnesota game. And Minnesota got all they could handle last night. Indiana played really, really well. Pascal Siakam shot the ball really well. And they kind of gave them a run for their money yesterday. So today, laying 5.5 now, if you wanted this game, I think you probably should have got on it last night. This opened at 4. I saw 4 when I wrote it down. No. Did I see 4? No, I saw 5. And it's up to 5.5. So hasn't really moved too much. Chris Finch after the game last night said that he didn't have an update about Anthony Edwards. I think it was a hamstring injury last night for Anthony Edwards, and I could see him potentially missing. However, when I was going through the beat writers, tweets last night, I did see something that stuck out from Naz Reid. He says, we've seen Anthony Edwards have this injury before. Wouldn't surprise me if he played again tomorrow. So that I don't really know what to do with the Anthony Edwards injury. If he's ruled in, this line's going, of course, going to move, but it's anticipated that he's not going to play in this game. And because of that reason, I'm not sure quite what to do with it. The Denver Nuggets have looked solid. They did beat the brakes off the Phoenix Suns the other day. They've scored 130 points in both of their games so far. I'm not sure if Minnesota's going to have enough offense to keep up with Denver if Anthony Edwards doesn't play. You're asking for a lot from Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert, of course, going to have his hands full with Jokic. So I guess Denver is the right play because I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to play. That's my thought process. Memphis and Golden State, I didn't really look too much at all. I know Memphis is playing their third game in 4 nights, their first road game of the season. 8 points is a lot. I feel like to lay with the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors got the Clippers on deck tomorrow, which is a divisional game. They're resting Al Horford, which means to me that they're potentially not taking this game as serious. They talked about one Al Horford in that matchup against Zubac tomorrow. Anthony Milton is still out as well, but on the other side, Memphis, I think eventually Memphis is going to get blown out again. I know that they blew out the Indiana Pacers the other day, but I just think that their defense is going to be really, really bad. So Golden State team total is super high. I'm not betting that, but so I have no idea what to do with this game. Brandon Clark, Zach Edey, Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr., and Vince Williams are all listed as out. I think Golden State can get whatever it is that they want in this game. I'm not sure if they're going to win by – you really need double digits at 8.5. Golden State did win and covered 3 of 4 meetings last season. So take that for what it's worth. And then last game is Portland and LA. And I'm not sure. My thought process tells me that Portland can win this game. I know that they lost last night, but they were playing against a Clipper team that was a playoff team. The Lakers won last night, made them look really good, but they were playing against the Kings, who probably won't even make the play-in. So Portland, I think they'll be a little bit better defensively tonight. I think Austin Reeves will struggle, won't have a 50-point game again. Gabe Vincent, of course, also was in a walking boot. No Luka Doncic, no LeBron James. Both teams, short travel from Sacramento back to LA and from the Clippers arena to the Lakers arena. So I don't really take that too much into consideration. I guess if I'm betting, I just want Denny Avdia. I talked about him yesterday. He's gone up and over his points prop in all 3 games so far. I think he could have a big game. This Lakers team, defensively, I think is going to struggle. I just think that offensively, JJ Redick is a good coach. Defensively, with the players that they're putting out there, I do think that Portland, not a great offense at all, but I think that they'll have some offensive success in this game. The total has gone up from 222 to 226, it looks like, and I would agree with that. That's my thought process on this one. Let's see. Dude says Harper over his assists and points. OKC Rose plug says, what up, Bitsy says, I hit the like. I see what you mean about Sunday games. These young millionaires be partying in new cities. Darius says he likes the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Warriors, and the Magic. Okay. Portland money line. I like Portland tonight too, Mark. I do, man. It pains me to say, but the Lakers aren't playing the Kings back to back. The Kings, I mean, you know how bad you got to be to lose to the Lakers without Luka and LeBron. Boy, Kings are terrible. But yeah, that'll do it. Recap: Houston first half specifically. I like Utah plus the points, Boston plus the points, Orlando minus the points. So I like a couple dogs and a couple favorites today, man. Hit the like button for me on the way out. I still got a little bit more work to do on these cards. Pay attention to the injury report as always. And I will catch you guys back tomorrow, man. Check out the resources. All of them are linked in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Monday. I'm out.